Record.
Hey everybody, it's Karen Batty here. It is July 11th and I am so excited because National Conference is coming up. Less than a month. Woohoo! Who's excited? Woo!
Woohoo!
Hey. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about what you can do, what you can be doing now to make sure you get the most out of your conference experience. Because it is an investment of some money and it's an investment of some time, right?
Yes.
So you want to make sure that you get the most you can out of it. How many of you, when you were a brand new consultant, you were asked by your trainer, so what would you like to have happen with your business? What's your goal? Right? Because when you have a goal, it sort of guides your actions, right? It's one thing to get a kit and that's all well and good and it's fun, but you want to have a goal. Well, the same thing is true with conference. You want to go with a goal in mind. One or two key things you want to work in your business. Maybe you want to take your business to the next level as far as, leadership goes. Maybe you want more shows in your calendar. Maybe you want a higher show average. Maybe you want to work on your recruiting skills. Whatever it is, be thinking about a couple of things in your business that you really want to focus on. Now, why is that important? Because once you get to conference, it's like Disney, only Pampered Chef. Okay, and so like all the kinds of excitement, you're going to see tons and tons of people. And yes, you are going to be able to take, what they don't call them workshops anymore, breakout sessions?
Breakout sessions.
Okay, and you can choose those on the spot. You don't have to choose them ahead of time. You can get there and kind of find out what friends are taking, so you can kind of like divvy it up, say, you go to that one and take notes, and I'll go to this one and take notes, and then you'll kind of type them up and swap them and things like that. But, if you go with a goal in mind, it's going to be easier to choose what breakout sessions you want to take. It's also going to help you when you are, in line for the bathroom. Although, John, you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
You're just gonna have, like, the bathroom while all the women are standing in line.
Yeah, we actually use the men's bathroom.
So we kind of take them over. But you're going to be, standing in line for a coffee or standing in line to go see new product displays and all kinds of stuff. And you're going to be surrounded by Pampered Chef people. Some of the best tips I ever got were standing in line waiting for the elevator. And I always was told to go with a goal in mind and to have a couple of questions right on hand. So that as you're waiting in the elevator line, you can say, hey, by the way, who's got a really good tip on how to increase your show average by $100 overnight? And all of a sudden you'll hear people share their ideas. Okay, so that's why it's really important to go with a goal in mind. Talk to strangers. We are going to have time when we're going to be together as a team. But our team, we get to communicate pretty much anytime we want to through our Facebook group, right? So you want to make connections with people outside of the organization. And I think it's good to try to connect with someone who's right where you are in the business or maybe a half a step ahead and going in the same direction as you. Okay? And get connected, get their contact information. When you go to a meal, don't just be sitting with people you know. When you go to the general session, don't just be sitting with people you know. Forget what your mother said and talk to strangers. We all have Pampered Chef in common. Yes, Lisa, hop in.
So one thing you might be asking is, how do I know someone is one step ahead of me? Well, one thing that you'll see at conference is, and I'll just show you mine as I trip, is everybody gets all these ribbons. So say you want to go.
Everybody gets ribbons.
Well, no. But you all have a ribbon that says what your level is. Consultant, senior consultant, director. So say
First-time attendee.
First-time attendee. Say you want to go for excellence. You want to maybe look for someone that has a ribbon with excellence and then ask them that targeted question. Right. Or maybe you want to move up. Maybe you're a team leader and you want to move up towards director. You want to find someone with a red ribbon. So that's kind of how you know a little bit about, like, they have that. What question I pull out of my back pocket to ask. So that's just a little visual tip if you're a visual relater.
Yeah, absolutely. And people are super friendly. Bring some business cards. The most use my business cards get are at national conference. Because when I go to a show, people don't really want my business card. They want my catalogs, right? Okay, take the catalog home, or they want the link to my website. So, but when I go to conference, that we do exchange business cards. So if you don't have any, you can print some up. Just the ones that you can get from Staples with and you could just print a bunch of them up to exchange with people. And make it a goal to connect with some people outside of our team, and to maybe even be an accountability partner with someone outside of our organization. Now, have you ever gone to a sales meeting and it's just a couple hours long, but by the time you leave, you're like, mind has been blown. Oh my goodness, stop the press, right? Well, imagine that like 100-fold. That's what conference is. A lot of information. We're going to be finding out about new products. And from what Judy Joel told me, which was she couldn't give me anything specific, but she was like, it's not just your average product reveal. It's going to be mind-blowing, and we're going to need extra time to kind of absorb it all. So it's a really good idea to make sure you schedule a little bit of downtime and quiet time. Can someone please mute? Oh, that's my son playing piano. Let me close the door.
Ah, that's you.
It was a fun tune.
Oh, he's practicing for the next musical that starts in 3 days. He just wrapped up one, and now he's got a whole big stack of music. So
what's this musical?
What's that?
What musical? Who?
Off topic.
Oh, sorry. We'll talk about that later. That's my son. That's what he does for a living. Yes. The physics major. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so schedule some quiet time. It doesn't have to be just alone, maybe with one or two other people, where you kind of debrief, look through your notes each day, and highlight the things that you think are amazing ideas. Okay, just 2 or 3 a day. You don't want to highlight your whole thing, but just 2 or 3 a day. Then when you come to the end of conference, you'll be able to look and say, okay, of the highlighted things, and if you're highlighting 2 or 3 a day, after a few days, you've got a lot of things highlighted. Then you can make your game plan of, okay, from all these ideas that I highlighted, what am I going to implement first? And it's really important, I think, because when we get back home, life gets in the way. Many of us have full-time jobs, kids, school, multiple things that sort of all of a sudden get in the way. And especially when my kids were young, I used to, when I went to conference, I would think, I want to take these ideas, think about them, process them when there's no distractions, and get my game plan in place so that when I come home, a monkey could run my business. Where these things are plugged in, I don't have to worry that I'm going to remember all these ideas. I've already plugged them in where they need to be. Okay, so does that make sense? All right. Lisa, do you want to talk a little bit about when they do the, when we all get together and they do like the product reveal, when we're general sessions? You want to talk a little bit about that? Because it's going to be different this year. I know I'm throwing you a curveball.
You are. Okay. I'm not sure where you're going with this, but
tell them what you know about general session, and if you don't read my mind, I'll fill it in.
Okay, so the nice thing about this year, if you haven't been, so this is not even going to matter to you, is we're in one big building. So there's no extra walking, which is fantastic. So the general session is the time when the whole company gets together, and there's typically product reveal, training from the stage, home office people, and then they do the awards. So new directors walk, they give out excellence awards, new promotions, all of that stuff. So lots of excitement, lots of energy. Typically, we try to sit together. However, it's in a new space, We have no idea what the layout is going to be. So, we're going to try our best to be together and to kind of connect. But if not, you want to grab a buddy. Again, a great place to meet people. And then you want to try to get there a few minutes early so that you can find a seat with a friend or just find a seat. In the past, we were in a theater. There was a stage. So I'm not sure what it's going to look like this year. Do we have a plan of trying to be together, or are we just going to?
Historically, we've gone toward the left-hand side, middle toward the left.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, we can't save seats. It's not allowed.
Right.
We do try to, and as much as possible, if people go to sit down, you say, oh, this person's in the bathroom, or we get this person on the way, they do try to, move a seat or two down. But know that it isn't always possible for us to all sit together. And it's okay, because, once all the information starts from stage, we're not so much talking to each other. But if you generally go in sort of mid-left of center, you might find a few of us there. And if you can jump in and sit with us, fantastic. If not, no worries. We've all got cell phones, so we can connect if we're going to meals afterwards. Yeah.
And then there will be a national conference app, so that will have updates and things like that. And so after the first general session, I think we'll be able to communicate better as to like the layout. So the first one, we may be kind of a little scattered. So just, kind of hook up with a few people ahead of time, kind of going in, whether it's your director or your roommate or whoever's going to be near you, you're going to be with that first day. So the first general session is on Thursday afternoon. So kind of have a plan to hook up, and then
Lynn, Lynn, you got a question?
Oh, Lynn.
You're muted, I think. I don't know, or something. We can't hear you.
How long do the sessions usually last?
The general sessions?
Yes.
They vary, but before the night is over, I'm going to show you guys where you can access the schedule online, and so that way you can get a sense of where to look all that up. Like I'm kind of detail oriented, so I print it out and I highlight. It's just how I run, but some people don't, and that's just me. So I'll print and plan and all that stuff, just so I know where I'm supposed to be.
So just backtracking a little, a couple of things that are good to be working on right now is get your calendar in shape. Because when you come back from conference,
before I leave,
when you get back from conference, I mean, we're getting, did they say $135 worth of product there? That we're
I don't know, a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And we're gonna be bringing this home, or they'll ship it to us, one or the other. Either we bring it home in our luggage, or when we get home, it's on our doorstep, because they ship it right after it's announced. So it beats us here usually. So you're going to want to take these to your shows. You're going to be wanting to like, be sharing from, screaming it from the hilltops. You don't want to come home and say, oh, now I've got to find people who want parties. So really get the parties lined up ahead of time. And you might want to schedule a party of your own, a last chance, first glance, because you'll have some products to show off. The other thing is, if you've got any leads, fresh show leads, or people who are considering the business, bring their contact information with you. Put it in your phone or write it down or something, because they will be announcing who knows what. Definitely stuff about products. There's usually a sign-on bonus. There's usually a cool thing for hosting. Sometimes there's a new theme, a new show idea that you think, oh, this person who's been kind of on the fence about hosting, they would just love this. And you're going to want to, be able to jump right on it and connect with them from national conference.
And they also sometimes give you like 20 minutes to go out and make all these calls to people, and then you submit the names, and then they call winners.
Right.
Sometimes out of it. So bring names, definitely.
So bring your lead list. For sure. Yeah. And before we get to the thing online where you can access the info about, national, all the agenda and all that, just some things that you want to think about packing with you besides your lead list. Yes.
Can we go back to one thing on I'm just looking at the agenda. No, sorry.
Oh.
Another thing to do, so we talked about filling your calendar, is that I like to do, and I think Karen taught me this, is clean off your desk before you go. Because you don't want to come home to like, oh crap, where are my leads? Like, where are my hosts that I need to pack? Like, you want to come home and not have, there's nothing more distracting than a messy desk. If you have to just take everything off of your desk and put it in a box, which I think Karen and I can attest to that we've both done at one time or another, and put it under your box, under your desk, put it under your desk. But if you can, carve out a couple hours before you leave for conference to get that in place, you will thank yourself. And then you'll be ready and running for the fall, because that will be taken care of.
And seriously, you don't even need a couple hours. If you take 2 boxes, one box is throw, one box is keep.
Right.
You just take it all and you throw it in one box or the other. The keep box you stick under your desk, and the throw box you throw away. Boom, you're done. Set a timer, 15 minutes. Now you've got, your desk is clear, you've got your lead list, and you're ready to,
you will thank yourself later. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was, I know a couple of you were thinking about, we shared with you earlier that you can pick your breakout sessions there. So when you think about those, think about what maps with your goal. And then if you're like not sure, talk to your director, say, well, what do you think I should be taking? And then kind of have a backup. They've been doing, this is the 3rd year they've done it this way. So it is pretty streamlined. There are duplicate sessions for the same topic. So you probably will get into what you want. But just kind of look at that and then plan that out with your roommates or your director ahead of time if you're unsure. And then you might hear, oh, this one was really good. So you might want to change on the fly, and that's, and that's good. And think about something that, maybe if you're not doing in your business now, or that will make you stretch a little bit, and those kinds of things. So I just wanted to share that as well.
Oh, Lynn and Belinda.
Oh, well, you guys are just like wicked awesome and rock stars, and we Allah. And we're envious.
So what to bring with you besides your lead list and your phone and a phone charger and stuff like that? It's going to be air conditioned. It's summertime, but the room is, and it can be really cold. So bring a sweater or something that you can carry with you easily and throw on and off. Comfortable shoes. It is business casual, okay? So not sneakers or anything like that, but we will be doing a fair amount of walking. It's a large convention center, so even though it's all in one building, you can get in your 10,000 steps without ever leaving the building. Some snacks you might want to have in your pocket, just in case you get hungry in between. Bring a refillable coffee thing, because it's
water.
Or water, yeah.
Write that
some kind of notebook or place to take notes. I suggest, in addition to maybe one that if you're going to take notes the old-fashioned way like I do, you want to bring something to your breakout sessions, or you can bring like an iPad or a laptop. But remember, you're carrying this around, so the smaller the better. But also, I find a small notebook that you can just, when you're standing in line at the bathroom or waiting for the elevator or wherever, if you just ask those questions based on your goals and you get quick tips, just something to really jot them down so you're not just throwing them in a notebook and then losing them. So I find that small little notepad is also really helpful. you won't need a ton of cash, but you want to bring some cash, like, to tip the guy who maybe helps you with your luggage or whatever. If you want to save money, you can maybe if you're staying in my hotel, breakfast is included, but otherwise you have to pay for breakfast. So you might bring packets of oatmeal from home, because there's a coffee maker and you can use the hot water to make oatmeal. Okay, or something like that. So you can bring things like that with you if you are on a tight budget. Okay, so then I think what we're going to do is Lisa will do a screen share, and we'll kind of go through the agenda as it's shown on Pampered Chef's website, and then we'll talk about some things that are specific to our team that are available that will cover some meals.
I also highly recommend an umbrella.
Oh, yeah.
And some highlighters.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to be caught
on the list.
in Chicago without an umbrella.
Yes, that is true. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Yep. Okay. So Lisa, do you want to do that screen
share? Yep. I'm pulling up the right one so that way when it
Okay, while you're doing that, I will tell you that if you are flying in on Wednesday, we are invited to Randy's. Randy is our up line. Okay, so Joanne is my director. Above Joanne is Randy. And Randy is doing something on Wednesday evening that will be a meal. You should receive an email today or tomorrow from your director. You need to RSVP to your director with your meal choice. And then right after that is the Nancy Jo Ryan training, which is about an hour and a half long. I highly, highly recommend it. Sometimes it's the best tips I get from conference are from that Nancy Jo Ryan training. And we're lucky. We're in her organization, so we're allowed to go that. That's not just open to anybody. That's only people in Nancy Jo Ryan's organization. So plan on that on Wednesday as well. And then on Friday is our team pizza party. So I just did a mailing today, so you should all be getting something in the mail in the next couple of days. Once we check in and I know exactly the room number, I'll be getting that room number out to you guys. It's actually not in my hotel room. It's going to be in Mary Haynes's, because she's an exec, so she gets a bigger room. So she offered it her room up as a place to have that pizza party. So we will let you know about the room number once we get all checked in. But that'll be a meal that you don't have to cover as well. So, okay, Lisa.
Hi. Okay, so if you go to, do you guys know how to get to the national conference page? Or do you want me to go back? It's under training and events and then national conference. And then you want to go to learn more. And this is where you can get everything you need to know. And it's constantly being updated. So we have, so for example, Lynn was asking me about how long general session was. So if you click on schedules, it's going to bring you down to the agenda. So say we go to Thursday. So the first general session is 2:30 to 5.
Wow.
And then, the first 2 breakout sessions, there's one at 9 and there's one at 10:30. So you have from 11:30 to 2:30 on your own to kind of check out what's at to have lunch, to check out what's they're going to have, like probably the gear, and they have the other things like you guys have probably all heard about the surprise boxes and that kind of stuff. So that kind of stuff you can be doing. They have a lounge where you can just sit and charge your phone and schmooze and network about your breakout sessions. So that's nice too, that you have that break where you can kind of gather your information, charge your phone, that kind of thing. And then, so that's Thursday. So that ends at 5, and then you have from 5 on to do whatever you want.
Right.
So,
and
unless you're a director.
Right. There's the
Right.
director party. So if you're not a director, you're going to need to think about dinner for that night and
So,
connect with some people.
you know, maybe put a post on the our conference page and say, hey, if you're not a director who wants to get together for dinner, I'm sure there's people that will want to get together for dinner.
Mhm.
So that too. So this just gives you kind of, and then the other thing I would go look at is the training. Because this is going to give you just a description of the breakout sessions and what is involved. So this is where you can kind of figure out what works for you. And yep, and the thing is, you can just print this out and look at it on the airplane. You don't have to do it, you know, you're on the airplane for 3 hours, so you can look on the airplane and do that as well. But the nice thing is it gives you the description, and then it tells you the times that it's going to be offered. Did someone ask a question?
Yeah, so it's John. So the breakout sessions are the things where you go and do other stuff with
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you
So
go.
this one is building relationships and overcoming objections to increase bookings. So if you want to work on bookings, this might be a great breakout session to go to. If you want to work on your sales at your live parties, you might want to go to this one too. Well, this says live and virtual. You might want to go to this one to increase your sales. So think about your goal and what you want to increase, and then you can chat with your director about which sessions might be a good fit for you. Does that make sense? Okay. And then the only other thing here is if you are a new director, this is where I think it tells you, Sharon was asking me this and I found it. So I think you can come in here and it'll tell you what time you're going to walk stage. So you know when that recognition is occurring. So that way you can, you know, plan your outfit.
Can you go back to the schedule and we'll just kind of briefly walk through it?
Yep.
Okay, so Wednesday is when a lot of people are flying in. I'm coming in on Tuesday. There's home office tours. The packet pickup, that's where you get your name tag and all the ribbons, and it gives you everything in writing about the agenda. You get a map of the building and stuff like that. So you can do that anytime from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Usually there's some things open in that time, like surprise boxes and not Merrill. What is it now? The new gear.
Whatever logo. I don't even know what it's called.
So there'll be some stuff open that you can look
Right.
at. There will be some stores nearby if you forgot toothpaste or, you know, you want to go shopping for just groceries to have in your room because there's refrigerators in a lot of them. You'll have time to do that. If you're going on a home office tour, these are usually happening at that time. I'm telling you, the home office tour and the Heritage Home Tour is amazing. I haven't been on the Heritage Home Tour, although I got a private tour when it first got open because there was some incentive that I got. But the home office tour, amazing. It really gives you a sense of the company that backs us. And also it brings faces to the names. Like all of a sudden you're walking through and they're like, oh, and here's our customer service department. And you can see all the people who answer our calls.
Right.
And so if you have a favorite customer service person, write their name down. You can find them very often when you're there. Okay. Okay, so scroll down to home office tours. And then, of course, on the Wednesday evening, that's the Randy thing, dinner at Randy's room and the Nancy Jo Ryan training. Thursday, if you're flying in on Thursday, that's fine too. You can pick up your packets in the morning. The breakout sessions begin. They're optional pre-conference, the 9 and the 10:30. But if you're there, you might as well take them. You do want to think about lunch that day, and then dinner that evening. And then Friday.
The jam-packed day.
Yes, the breakout session starts at 9. Then there's some kind of director training for new directors, breakout sessions. Another general session. That's probably when we'll find out about products. And yeah, and then that's also when we have our pizza party. Be on the lookout. We're putting together a fun scavenger hunt. We'll get that posted before we go to conference, and people who complete it and bring it to our pizza party on Friday can win one of many prizes. And it's just a fun way to kind of have excuses to walk up and talk to strangers. Oh, can you help me with my scavenger hunt? I need someone with that color ribbon.
And to make the most out of your experience. So last year was the first year that people came up to me and asked me questions because I had more ribbons than expected. And I was like, oh, cool. And it's just fun to participate on both ends. So, yeah. And then Saturday is our last day, but it's still a really full day. So you have one last breakout session from 9 to 10. And then you have our closing journal session is from 10:30 to 1. And then depending on what time your flight leaves, you will either go right to the airport, or if not, you can coordinate with your pals to grab something to eat and then go off to the airport.
You want to stay till the very end if you can,
yes,
because they usually save some kind of wow announcement for the very end. If things are tight, you can bring your luggage to the conference center and keep it there. Okay, and then you can stay till the very last minute that you can.
Right.
Have your luggage and head to the airport straight from there. Okay. Yes. So, like I said, a little mailing went out today for me, so be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for the email asking you your food preference if you're going to be there on Wednesday night. And now we'll open it up to your questions.
I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and then so you guys can. All right.
And of course, if you think of a question after tonight, you're going to be talking to you. Yeah. Yes, Sharon, what's your question?
Well, I asked it in chat, but I wasn't sure if everyone saw. I'll be polite. Due to a few dietary restrictions that I have, I was looking into Prime Now or Shipt or something like that to have some groceries delivered to the room. And it turns out one of my roommates is in a similar predicament. So she was looking into that as well. So I was wondering if anyone had, or if they had any advice about that.
I had heard about that, but I think it was on an incentive trip, not national conference. No, I was just about to go. Yeah. But I have to say, usually it's buffet, and they have definitely gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian options. But I don't know what other kind of restrictions you have.
Well, no, I mean, most of it is restaurant because the home office isn't providing.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So, Sharon, I would look into it. I can double check and see if we have a fridge. I think we do.
Yeah, I mean, I plan on packing lots of snacks, and I appreciate that, Karen. I can't eat things from a restaurant right now, but it's okay. So, thanks. That was one of my questions. And while I have everybody else here, what are surprise boxes?
There's something wicked cool, and you're definitely going to want some.
Answer that.
Oh, surprise boxes are really cool. So I believe last year they had $15, $25, and $50. Yes, Lisa?
This year they're going to have 25 and 50. I read somewhere.
Okay.
So
$25 and $50 boxes. And I'm telling you, when you walk into the huge room, there's just boxes everywhere, and people are all flying all over the place grabbing their boxes. Inside the boxes are normally golden tickets.
Well, only occasionally golden tickets. They have product.
Oh, right. They have, yeah, Kimberly got a golden ticket last year. And if you do get a golden ticket in your box, then you get a pretty good size piece of something in there. It's awesome. But so what you do is you go and you purchase your your surprise box, whichever one you got, and then you can actually take it and go right to the shipping department, and you just tell them your name and consultant number, and they print out the label and plop, slap it on the box, and it's usually here at your house when you come back. And the other thing too is it's a good time to, if you get something that's a little bit too heavy or something during one of the general sessions and you don't want to carry it home, then you can actually take it, stuff it inside your surprise box, and have it all shipped back home for next to nothing. It's awesome.
What did you get for your golden ticket?
Kimberly?
I got a pan.
Yes, she got a piece of cookware.
We actually used it for dinner tonight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was the $200-something, wasn't it?
And surprise boxes are usually retired items.
Yeah.
But they have a higher value than if you paid $25 for it. It's usually a significantly higher value than that. If you're doing some kind of last chance first glance party, they're great for giveaways for that. There's also very often some cash and carry. I remember last time they had like gravy boats for $2 or whatever. They have some crazy things. So I got a surprise box, but then I did what Belinda said. I did some cash and carry, threw them in there. And then also some of the little prizes that we get along the way, I threw it all in there and just shipped the whole thing back for one cheap price per box.
Yeah. So there is information about this on that site that I showed you. It tells you kind of what might be in the surprise boxes. They are going to definitely have cash and carry this year. They already said that. Yeah. So they did, so that information is there. But it's just a fun thing. But you don't know what you're going to get. So that's sort of
and then
surprise!
Hence the surprise.
They open up and they go, surprise, and they're like, oh, I don't want that. And you're like, I'm dying for that. Well, what do you got? And people trade, all kinds of stuff. So it's a lot of fun. It's a big fun factor. And,
I think Kimberly and I went back 3 times.
And if you want to chip in, like, if you don't want to spend $25, find someone to split it with you. And you just kind of go in and and you can throw your cash and carry stuff in there and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Other questions?
Okay. Well, I think
who's excited?
Yeah.
Yay!
I'm scared shitless.
I'm excited.
Why are you scared? Lynn, why are you scared? You're not going up on stage.
Tell us more.
Oh, the more you talk, the more confused I get. The more information I get. Yeah.
You're my roommate. So.
Do you have a roommate? You're with Karen?
You're looking at her.
Yeah.
I'll be there early too.
The best one.
And Cindy and Chris.
Yeah. I'll come pick you guys up when I get in.
But and it is. It's kind of like Disney. It's kind of like, whoa, where do I begin? But once you're there, we just take it one day at a time. But we can definitely talk ahead of time, just to kind of.
It can be overwhelming because there's a lot of people. But once you're there, it almost becomes clear.
It's awesome.
But
actually,
how far is this place that we're going from the airport, and how do we get there?
It depends on where you're flying.
Okay.
Where are you flying into?
I have my ticket somewhere here.
If you're flying into O'Hare, it's easy.
No, Midway.
If you're flying into Midway, then I don't typically fly into Midway because I fly out of Boston. So these gals can answer your question better than I can.
I'm actually flying out of Boston and then I'm coming back home to Manchester.
Oh,
Sherry, when are you flying out?
Wednesday.
Sherry and I are on the same flight.
Okay.
What airline?
Southwest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
I'm with Nancy Connor too.
Lisa.
Oh, Nancy's been there before.
They're not on my flight. So I'm flying American on Wednesday. But you know what we should do? Let's do the let's just do a crazy post. Who's flying out when? Just so that.
Well, we did. Our tickets were posted.
You can find
Let's do
you
that
guys can
again.
split the cost, either get a cab or cheaper is, what do you call them, those little
Uber?
Shuttle.
Yeah, the airport
Shuttle.
shuttle. And it's pretty affordable when there's a few of you in it. And
Oh,
I'll just follow Nancy then.
Yeah, so Southwest flies into Midway, and typically there's you can do a shuttle or something.
Some
but
hotels have a shuttle.
not for
Midway?
Oh, not for Midway.
No.
Okay.
Because
Oh,
Midway's
so how come
about
we're just hearing about
30
this
to
now?
45 minutes. What?
How come we're just hearing about this now? How far, where the best place is to fly into?
You know what? I've done both. It's really,
You have? Okay.
yeah, it's and it's not a big deal. I think it's like a
Okay.
half an hour, 45 minutes from one airport and like 10 minutes from another. But Southwest doesn't go into the
Right.
other.
I don't fly Southwest. I fly out of Boston. So I always fly into O'Hare just because I fly out of Boston. So that's just my natural course.
Well, we are flying out of Boston.
Yeah, I just don't typically fly Southwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Because of that.
Southwest.
I think we did that because luggage flies free.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yep.
So,
Now-
there's benefits to each. And the benefit of flying Southwest is you're not paying $25 for luggage
Right.
and you usually get a cheaper airfare. But then, seriously, it might be $12. If there's a few of you all going in together, it might be $10 to $12 for the transportation.
All right.
But
Lynn-
you're not going to be alone. There'll be lots of you. There'll be lots of people.
Who's saying Lynn?
No, Sharon is saying, asking where the shuttle or the cab or wherever would bring them, whether it's to Chicago Convention Center or PC headquarters.
take your
Sharon, you would go
hotel-
to your hotel.
Hotel shuttle.
Yeah, definitely want to go to your hotel and unload your luggage and stuff
And
first.
Sharon, you're coming in late, so you would take your hotel shuttle.
Yeah.
And, keep in mind, it's a convention center. These people go back and forth to the airport, to the convention center all the time. There's multiple hotels right near the convention center. So you might be in the shuttle with, someone in 3 different hotels, but they'll do the circuit and it's not a big deal. They are used to doing this all the time. And it's not hard to, find some people once you're there going, hey, who's going here or who's going there? You don't all have to be in the same hotel. You just have to be in the convention center area and you can all hop onto the same shuttle. And we've never, I've never made reservations for a shuttle ahead of time. I get off, I get my luggage, and then we go and get a shuttle, and we're usually on one in 15, 20 minutes.
And just make sure your director has your telephone number, your cell phone numbers.
And I'm going to be there on Tuesday, so I'll be there before everybody else. So I'll be the mother pacing, waiting for all my kids to get in.
That's a lot of gossip coming in.
Yeah.
What's a baby owl?
The baby owl called.
I don't know. I don't know.
Cyglet. No. Isn't it a cyglet?
It's a funny name. Yeah.
Cyglet. Oh, and my maiden name is
Cyglet.
So, Lynn, the other thing is,
baby
post on
owl
the
is
conference.
Called.
The baby owl is called an owlet.
Owlet.
Oh, perfect.
So, Lynn, I just had a thought. Post on the Dynasty conference page and tag Mel, because she knows of a shuttle that you can reserve that's not very expensive, that goes from Midway to wherever you need to be. So I would just tag her in your question, and it may take her a couple days, but she can answer.
Yeah. And Lynn, you're with Nancy Connor, right?
No, that's me, Sherry.
Oh, Sherry, you are. Okay.
Lynn, are you flying in alone?
Lynn's on the same flight I'm on.
Oh,
We're
okay.
with Nancy.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
3 of us.
So yeah, you can go with us. I'll follow Nancy.
And Nancy's a seasoned veteran.
Mhm.
Yes, she's seasoned a conference attendee.
So I think we can stop the recording on this. But just know that this is just so